Angry guy here. And women don't realize that they've burned all their bridges. Women don't realize they've burned all their bridges. It's pretty crazy. We look at society today. We look at that everything that has happened after M2, after feminism, third wave, fourth wave, which was considered online feminism. We look at society, and it's amazing that women don't see the division. They don't see the cause and effect. They don't see how their actions have directly impacted the relationship between men and women. And they will continue to put all the blame on men. They don't realize that simp culture is a bad thing. And that a lot of these guys can barely rub two dimes together. When they go on social media and they see all these simps in their DMs and they think that these are men who genuinely care about them and are interested in them, and they don't realize that these are actually people who are quite toxic and are just looking for recreational use only most of the time. When it comes to people like Chad and Tyrone and Ray Ray and Pookie, it's recreational use only, but they don't realize that. And yet these are the guys that they love. They don't realize that there's no coming back after M2, where their words can be weaponized and used against any man at this time without any evidence whatsoever to discredit them and to strip them of everything that they've worked hard for over the course of their lives. Women don't see the way that men are treated in society by women, by society as a whole. It's quite sad. Women don't realize that men are their providers and protectors, even though they still demand this from men. Women have chosen to be modern women while demanding that men still be progressive, traditional men. So men have to be traditional, but also progressive. In other words, let them do what they want, give them more than before, but provide and protect for them. Don't forget what happened recently, where a woman claimed that something happened between her and another individual, and in reality, it was a complete lie. She used GoFundMe, claiming that this happened to raise tons of money, which ultimately was for a complete lie. And she took around over $40,000 from predominantly Black women who were duped into believing that this actually happened. And she blamed the entire thing on men. And you had women, especially Black women, all over social media complaining about Black men, and that Black men did nothing to protect her and have done nothing to protect them, and that Black men are wrong for this. And then it turns out that this was absolute nonsense. And when you go to channels, large channels that covered this, none of them have issued any statement saying, yeah, I was wrong. Turns out the entire story was fabricated. This woman has been doing it for years. A lot of people lost their money as a result of this. GoFundMe allowed her to keep all of the money instead of shutting it down. And the media that ran stories about this happened, none of them issued retractions whatsoever. And men continue to get blamed. And the interesting thing is, a lot of feminists, because I knew they would do this, came out and they said, even if it's true, it doesn't matter because these are the things that have been happening to women for a long time and we need change. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. And just because there's no evidence doesn't mean it's not true. Even if it's found that she made it up, it still doesn't mean it's not true. What? Even if it's determined that she made it up, it still doesn't mean it's not true. Because once a lie has been told, that lie takes on a new life of its own, and it no longer matters if it's true or not, as long as it was directed at a man. And that's it. And he loses everything. He loses his livelihood. He loses his ability to survive. He loses his good name. So he loses his reputation. He loses influence, which is the ultimate goal. And women walk away scotch-free, often after they've piled, stuffed money into their pockets. And they are commended for what they've done, and there are no social repercussions for it. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying my content, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, never miss another video again, and like the video because it tells YouTube you're enjoying the content, you want to see more of it, so YouTube will show you more of it. But guys, this is the reality that we live in. And modern women honestly don't care. They don't care, and they are not socially aware of any of this. They don't realize the bridges they've burned. They don't realize that the guys that make good fathers, the guys that have the money, the guys that are not going to be in the streets are leaving. They're never going to have relationships again. If they're walking away from society, they don't have to go overseas to walk away. They're working just enough to survive, some cases thrive, but they are not doing more than they need to beyond providing for themselves and focusing on their own happiness and specifically their own peace. Because happiness is something that we are not guaranteed. But for most men will simply be satisfied with peace, especially when you get into your 40s and 50s. You're just done at that point. After a life of turmoil, hardship, and specifically, men can handle the hardships of life, but they cannot handle often the hardships that women bring to them in life. It's true. We can go through so much in life and we can overcome all of it. But it's the hardships that we face as a result of the actions of women in society. And it's their actions that make life so much more painful to live. Look at guys like Jason David Frank. Look at guys like, look at guys like Robin Williams. Look at guys who ultimately could no longer handle the burdens of life because of the women in their lives, and they ultimately self-deleted. They hit the delete button because they couldn't do it anymore. They couldn't suffer anymore. Not the ups and downs of life, but the pain and suffering that they experienced in life in relation to the women that they were involved with in life. And of course, you receive the "not all women are like that" every time from women and simps. And no matter how much you explain that you're not saying that it's individual women, but women as a group, and you acknowledge that there are individual women that are decent people, they don't care. They don't want you to talk about women. Do not talk about women. Keep the word woman out your mouth. Talk about individual people. Don't even use the word woman. Don't bring up her gender whatsoever. Stay away from, because guys, what it really is it's pattern recognition, recognizing behaviors among specific groups. And that's the way that we do everything, because that's the only way that we can bring about change and help groups, in fact, that need help. But no, because these people, they want to hide in the darkness. They don't want to be criticized, and they immediately go into throwing ad hominems and trying to say, oh, the reason why you're saying this is because of your relationship with your mother, or the reason why you're saying this is because someone hurt you, or the reason you're why you're saying this is because hurt people, and I hope you find someone one day that helps you to heal, so they use it as a way of trying to invalidate your argument, by saying that you really don't mean what you're saying and you're only saying it because you're hurt. Because a man that is in a good relationship with a woman would basically allow anything and everything to go. It's so sad, guys. It really, really is. But that's the world we live in today. It is a painful reality that we face. It is an extraordinarily painful reality that we face. And we're facing that reality because we did not have the tenacity to stand up for what is right in society. We did not have the tenacity to stand up for ourselves, and we allowed simp culture to become so large, and to grow and manifest the way that it has. That now you can't put the genie back in the bottle, but there is the passport bros, and these are men walking away from Western society, and not just to find relationships overseas. These are men that are going overseas to start new lives, to find happiness and peace and and tranquility. And women don't realize that they will never be able to get access to these men again. They don't realize that the bridges are burned. They don't realize after M2 it's gone. All right? And it will never return, not in our lifetime. But of course, they live in a whole different world because women live life on easy mode. They have a game genie. But the very moment that those cartridges won't boot up anymore, and a new system comes out, and the rules of the game change, suddenly they're like, man, come and save me. I'm a princess in the castle. Come and rescue me. And then they're shocked to discover that Mario isn't coming. Guys, Bowser was Tyrone. If y'all didn't realize it in the Mario games, Mario wouldn't stop simping. Bowser was Tyrone. You really think Peaches got kidnapped all of those times? That many times? You think she wouldn't know better by now? It's been over 30 years. It's been over 30 years since Bowser has been scooping her up. In Mario Odyssey, he literally tried to marry her. And then Mario and Bowser basically went at it, and she basically flipped off both of them. Guys, it's done. The relationship is done between men and women, and they're going to have to accept it. But they're going to have a hard time accepting it because women cannot accept the reality of things. All right? Women cannot accept the truth. That's why men tell lies. And if you tell them the truth, it could be a very, very treacherous, very, very treacherous thing to do, because it can put you in a world of it can put you in a world of trouble, because women cannot handle the truth. When they're presented with it, it literally brings them to a place where they say, yeah, I am going to make you feel what I feel, because this reality is not something that I am willing to accept. Men have to realize that nothing lasts forever. And I said this before. And guys, modern women, their mindset will never change. I've already said this, that women will say feminism got us everything we wanted, now let's fight it together. Nothing will ever change. The label feminism may go away, but the legacy of feminism will live on forever. Every woman in Western society is a feminist, at least a little bit. Every woman. And don't let them tell you anything different, because you know it. And no matter who she is, every woman in Western society dislikes men at least a little bit. Even if she won't admit to it, it's the honest to goodness truth. What do you guys think? I want to hear your thoughts. Do you agree that women don't realize they've burned all their bridges? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. So we'll talk about it there. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.